Book 3. The Council of the Ages. Chapter 1. Part 1. Chapter 1. One of the most extraordinary and of crucial importance for the history of Almera was the arrival of the embassy of Bordalania to hire the services of the Blue Phoenix. History of Almera Volume 3. Author, Mariana Spielan. Reginald I of Arceus walked with his divinity in some strange gardens. It was quite an honor, since few were invited to such rooms in the palace. The king of Arceo knew about the existence of this place for 2 years, when he was invited for the first time and was totally amazed. It was the place where his divinity dealt with the most important and confidential matters. In that beautiful garden all was quiet and peaceful, though false, since none of the plants and shrubs that decorated the place were really alive. It was the curse of his divinity in his exile. His divinity could create any landscape, city or castle, but devoid of life, so he wanted to return to Shanaris. He needed life, with all its power, and life was something he did not control, he could only aspire to corrupt it. Fortunately there were always beings in Shanaris willing to follow him in exchange for power, and although he was banished on another plane, his influence made his followers, if they faithfully comply with his orders, receive the benefits of being at his service. Reginald was one of the oldest members of society among mortals. He had always carried out all his orders without hesitation. That is why he had rewarded him by crowning him as king of Arceo, even though he was a descendant of a miserable couple of serfs who took care of the royal stable far from the capital. Reginald was one of the key members of the society since the death of Fedoras. He was the one he trusted the most. Even so, his divinity knew that the key to the success of his plan was that no one knew exactly in its entirety. They only had to know the part that each member of the society should perform. They both walked through the garden without saying a word, and it was complicated since they both knew that time was a commodity that had to be disposed of efficiently. There is little time left for his return. Certainly. Do you know how much Shanaris I miss? This is not a crude copy. The king of Arceo looked at a flower and picked it up to examine it. It was so real, you could even smell a delicate scent. But that's it, but they are not like Shanaris. Something is missing. That's right. And with all your power you cannot give it to him? His divinity moved away for a moment. Another person to say that same phrase would be vaporized at once, but the monarch of Arceo had a certain wide sleeve. There is always someone more powerful. It is difficult for a mortal to comprehend it. Now that his deity had shown himself vulnerable, the monarch tried to get some more information. The deity did not answer and decided to get to the point. It's a crucial moment, Reginaldo, do you understand? Yes, my lord. The spider's web is ready, but not complete. What do you mean? Sometimes to win you have to sacrifice what you want the most. I understand it, my lord. There is any doubt or question about it? No, Jumal has served our interests well, he will not hesitate to sacrifice himself. I see you don't quite understand it. He must not know. How? For a hoax to be perfect, almost everyone involved must believe it to be true. That is why he must know nothing of our true objective. So why does my lord tell me? I want to know how loyal you are. On my return only those who are truly worthy will be rewarded. Reginald I opened his eyes and spat out the black stone, leaving it on the table. There in front of him, watching him, was as always his faithful Jumal, inseparable for more than 40 years. Sacrificing him would be a great loss. But the ultimate goal was far more important than Jumal's life, his own, or the lives of all the inhabitants of Arceo if necessary. Well, my lord, Let's get everything ready, I'll leave for Borderlania in a week.